All right, so we're diving into 13 Ghosts today.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts.
And this isn't just like, hey, did you like the movie? This is like a deep dive into what makes this film tick.
This is about the DNA. This is about, like, the core of the film. We're not talking about, like, if the special effects are good or not. Although I think the house looks fantastic.
The house is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the source material that you sent me actually calls the house, it calls it like a modern labyrinth, which I thought was pretty cool.
It is a cool way to put it.
Yeah, like a puzzle that's inescapable that these characters are trapped in.
Right, right. And it talks about the way the house actually, like, functions as a character in many ways, because you have, like, these moving walls and all this kind of stuff. It's almost like a character itself.
It's suffocating just watching it. I can't imagine.
Yes.
So the house is great, but the analysis kind of takes this turn. And it's like they built this incredible house, and then they're like, oh, wait, we forgot the foundation.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
source does praise the visuals, but then it kind of goes into, the script could use a little work.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like the character development, because it's like you go into a horror movie and you think, well, you don't really need characters. I just want to see, scary stuff.
Right.
But actually, when you look at, like, really good horror movies, it's the characters that make it work.
Right. Right.
Like, think about Jack Torrance in The Shining. You know,
Yes.
if you didn't care about that character.
Or The Descent. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
The Descent. Ugh.
If you don't care about the characters, if you're not invested in them, then when they get in these crazy situations, it doesn't matter as much.
You need someone to care about.
Yeah.
For sure.
No.
So is that kind of like 13 Ghosts' biggest like downfall? It's just like these underdeveloped characters? Because the concept is so cool.
The concept is so cool, especially with the whole Black Zodiac thing. I mean,
It's cool.
imagine if they, like, really dove into that. Like, each ghost really played into, their sign.
That would be so good.
Like, oh, this ghost embodies rage. Well, why are they so angry? Tell me more.
Right. Like, why is this ghost so obsessed with this? Or why is this ghost, whatever.
Why is this ghost, keeping a shoe collection in the basement? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's some connection there.
Right. I mean, that's way more terrifying if you know the backstory.
Exactly. So it'd be, like, way more terrifying.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Instead of just, here's an angry ghost. Give me a reason. Give me, like, a whole story there.
Right. Exactly. And speaking of backstories, I feel like we have to talk about Cyrus.
Oh, Cyrus.
Because his whole plan is just so, I don't know, it just feels very extra. Like opening the Eye of Hell just to see the future. I feel like he could have just, like, hired a really good, stockbroker or something.
Right. Like a financial advisor, maybe? I don't know about opening the Eye of Hell.
Yeah. A little extreme.
Yeah, and that's what the analysis kind of picks at. It's like this idea that, yeah, he's got this big, huge plan, but is it, like, believable? And I think that's where it falls apart a little bit.
Does it make him less scary then?
Yeah.
If his plan is so out there.
Yeah, because if you can't buy into his, like, motivation as a villain,
Right.
then the stakes don't feel as high.
Right.
It's like, okay, so you're going to open the Eye of Hell, but why? For what?
Right. Exactly. You're not really invested in his evil plan.
Exactly. And it all goes back to, like, even when you're dealing with supernatural stuff, even ghosts, if the villain's motivations aren't grounded in something, it doesn't work as well.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of not working well, can we talk about Arthur for a second?
Oh, Arthur.
Our protagonist, well, I guess, the analysis called him Arthur.
Oof. Yeah.
Because he just doesn't really do a whole lot, does he?
He doesn't really drive the plot forward in quite the way you might hope a main character would.
Right. Like, you need someone to root for.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Arthur's a bad guy.
No. Right.
But he's just kind of there.
And it's kind of a shame because the analysis actually points out that, just giving Arthur a couple of moments, like where he makes a choice, a small choice, could make a big difference. Yeah. Because right now he's just sort of reacting to everything.
Like he's just along for the ride, almost. It's like he's just along for the ride, but he's got to fight back. He's got to make a choice.
He's got to punch a ghost. I don't know.
Yeah, at least something.
Right.
So, okay, we've got this killer house, literally, right? It's a great concept. You've got this whole Black Zodiac thing, which is fascinating.
Yeah, but it just doesn't quite...
It doesn't stick the landing.
It's like, it almost feels like, and the analysis even kind of says this, it's like they had all the pieces, but they just didn't quite know how to put them together in a way that, like, really sings, you know?
So what would you do if somebody was like, all right, here's the keys to the house. We're remaking 13 Ghosts. Go. What's the one thing you would change?
One thing, oh, that's easy. Lose a few ghosts.
Really?
Yeah, pick one, maybe two.
Oh, okay.
And just go deep.
Okay.
Instead of 13, right, like just pick one, really flesh out their backstory, really make them scary, you know?
So quality over quantity.
Exactly. Like, don't give me a buffet. Give me like a 5-star, single dish, perfectly prepared.
So instead of like a haunted house, it's like a haunted antique shop.
Yes.
Where every item has a story.
And you're not sure you want to know what it is, but you kind of do.
And it's probably going to haunt your dreams. Well, folks, there you have it. That's 13 Ghosts, a house full of potential, maybe a few too many ghosts. Be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Let us know what you think. Until next time, happy viewing and trying to sleep with the lights off.